Hey everybody of the WooFDriver Unleashed group. This is the WooFDriver coming to you live. I'm in my WooFDriver studio here, quote unquote, and just gives me a chance to come to you on a more personal basis in here. Now I'm just going to do one thing and just make sure I'm actually live on the right page, because Facebook makes it a little complicated. Yep, we are live. Cool. So, in case you're tuning in live right now, please, by all means, you can put down any comments or questions, and I can try to answer them while we're on this broadcast. Just wanted to update you on WooFDriver World activities and what's happening. As you can see, this is what I call my home studio, but we're working on something really cool, which is called the WooFDriver Den. And in the WooFDriver Den, I'm going to do a lot of live broadcasts, 360, all kinds of stuff. So you're going to be able to see all over that studio, which was designed for live broadcast. It's got all kinds of WooFDriver memorabilia, the bikes, everything. So pretty interesting stuff. That will be happening, I'm hoping, within the next week or two. We'll be doing live shows from there. We're going to be joined by different people throughout WooFDriver World, and right now I'm involved with something called the Presidential Pet Museum. I have a historian with us, all kinds of great stuff all about dogs. Today's activity, what we're doing is we're testing out a new system. I'm always trying new things out, everything's evolving, from technology to even dog training techniques that I use. I'm learning more every day from the dogs and from what I do, so I can actually incorporate new ideas into the training, and I'm hoping to relate that to everybody. So what we're doing today, yesterday was a spa day. You'll notice I've been posting more and more, and that's gonna, I'm hoping, be on a more consistent basis. But today we're gonna head out and try to do a trail run. We're gonna have the bike ready. We put a new bike seat on there so I can rest Princess when she gets tired, instead of having to cut her trip short, because usually what I would do is have the truck meet us and we put Princess up when she was done. But because of Princess's funny gait or awkward gait, the way she runs, she'll tire herself out, and she's old. I mean, she's 13 and a half. She's done really well with all the activities. In fact, the more activities we do, the better her ailments are, her older health ailments, I should say, like arthritis and getting her stiff joints and muscles getting, I guess, weak when we're not active. So it's very important that we stay active. So we've got the seat. I'm using one of my motorcycle seats, as you've seen, and we're playing with different ways to put it on the bike because she wants to be with the pack. So she'll do a mile, 2 miles, and maybe get a little tired. We'll put her up for a mile or 2 miles. She might be up for another mile or two. It depends where we're at and how much energy she has in her tank. Some days she can run 10 miles plus. Some days she's happy with 3 miles. So I always take the dogs at what they want to do, their pace, and they set all the parameters of the race. Hello, Kimberly. Good to see you too. Thanks so much for tuning in. And yeah, I can read everybody now when I'm not in an adventurous situation. I don't have the dogs on the trail or in the bike or however we may be. I can actually see the screen and address everybody that's joining the broadcast. So it's going to be kind of interesting. I'm really about pioneering new ideas, as you know, and just perfecting everything to give the dogs the best experience and to enjoy everything to the max. And that's why I share it all here, because I'd like to share that with everybody. So in case you're just tuning in, all new show stuff going on here that's going to include, we've pretty much built a whole new studio. This is just a home studio, what you're looking at here, but I actually have a studio dedicated to doing WooFDriver live broadcast, where in this more intimate platform. Hey, Sean, good to see ya. Yeah, can you believe she's 13? Sean was saying he had no idea that Princess was 13. Yeah, she's amazing. And thanks, Kimberly, I actually attribute her staying in shape because of all the activities we do, of course, but also her competitive nature really helps drive her. Being in a household with the other dogs makes her want to stay competitive. And that personality that she has gets her interested in whatever we're doing. I want to do it too, and I can do it better than the other dogs. And that drive is what keeps her thriving and keeping her going. So I really am fortunate for that. I love the way she handles herself. It's a combination, again, of the activities and motivating her in the right way. So I was telling you about the WooFDriver Studio. I've assembled, I have a lot, I've done this for more than 20 years now. Excuse me, that's just the phone, and what we do with the phone is, it's usually a, what do you call this, solicitor anyway, so you hang up on them. Okay, so the studio, I've been doing this for about 20 years, so as you can understand, I've accumulated a lot of bikes and a lot of different apparatuses that I've used with the dogs. Some have been successful, some haven't. Some are retired for good. And some have been around since I started, and I'm still using them today. So in the studio that I've designed, I'm able to bring almost all the bikes, at least most of the retired ones, but I'm able to rotate some of the ones that I'm still using. So I can really give everybody, and it's not just bikes, it's scooters, it's the snow runners, which are personal snowmobiles, it's the sled I use, it's roller skates, everything. And I'm able to explain it in a lot better of an environment because we're pretty much uninterrupted from loss of signal because it's a dedicated line. It's not just relying on Wi-Fi connectivity, as well as not having to worry about the dogs because when we're out on the trail they want to go and they don't want me to sit still too long and explain it. So kind of interesting, and I think you'll like the studio a lot because I'm going to do some of the broadcasts there in 360. Hey, Kimberly. Princess is husky. What has been the average lifespan? But actually, because I've only had my only experience. Kimberly was asking, "What's my experience with the lifespan of the husky and Malamute?" And Zorro is the only dog that I have that actually have or had that actually has some Malamute in him. So he's about 8 years old. Huskies, my experience, are usually about 13 to 15 years, and we're working on that, making the longevity, of course, longer than that. The earlier Huskies that I had, I wasn't able to keep them as active as I keep these guys, so I really think that's helping their mobility, as I stated earlier. And I've got a diet worked out that I think they really benefit from, and it seems to agree with them. Huskies in the past I wasn't able to give this diet, I wasn't as knowledgeable, and I'm not saying it's the end-all diet out there. For me it works really well for my lifestyle, for what we do, and how the dogs seem to digest it, and it agrees with them. But diets have become so scientific these days that a veterinarian is probably one of your best people to work with. I know they have ways of helping you formulate a diet that is pretty advanced. But again, what I do, I'll just quickly touch on it. I feed a frozen diet, and I actually feed it to them frozen. It's a frozen raw diet. So almost all the food I give them is never thawed, and it's very refreshing to them. Normally in the it's actually called the BARF diet, bones and raw food, and they get their bone nutrition and calcium and other nutrition or nutrients they would get from bones, because the bones are actually ground up in there, so they're not actually chewing a bone, which has the risk of getting caught up in their system, binding their system up, and can be fatal. So they're getting it through being very digestible chunks, because obviously bone is not digestible, but these are easily to pass through their system. They can't obstruct it. Yeah, it is funny. They call it the bark, bones, and raw food. It was developed originally by Ian Billinghurst, I believe is his name, and read his book and talked to many people at length at it, and I've been involved with it for many years. It's agreed. Now, since I've been doing that, there's lots of other raw food diets, frozen food diets that have come along, and I've tried them, and they seem to be good too. Some are, have different protein content or whatever. So certain dogs, depending on how active a dog may be, might need a higher calorie intake, might need one of the raw foods to sway one way or the other, have different ingredients in them that one brand doesn't have. And is Bones okay if they're raw? I used to feed lots of bones, poultry bones, which are a big no-no, and there was never a problem that I had with them. But as I've matured, or maybe I should say as I've become more knowledgeable, I've seen pretty bad things